Good people, what's up? What's good? You guys are listening to your favorite podcast, Connecting the Dots. It's your boy, Caleb Smith.
And it's your girl, Kimmy Coco.
And what's going on, Kim? We back for another week?
We missed last week, so.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I just ate.
Had to grub.
Yeah. Caleb is the only one that could tell if I have onion breath.
No, you're fine.
But we missed last week, and so much has gone on.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the Trump impeachment has been gaining steam.
It has.
There's been a lot going on in the streets.
Literally, yeah.
The day of outrage protest
Yeah,
went on
Kim
around
was there.
the city. I went to the one here in Atlanta.
Kim made it again on TV. It's easy. It's what she does.
I was on the local news for
like,
3 seconds, but I think it was funny because the maintenance guy in my apartment, he was like, "Were you on television?" I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Were you downtown?" I was like, "Oh yeah, that was probably was me."
Yeah.
So
That's
I was
dope.
like, "Okay," but there weren't that many people there. That kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, there were enough people there, but it was like the same people that are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever there's something,
Yeah.
there's always like, you know, the same people
Activists,
in Atlanta,
a group of people.
the same local activists, the same
Yeah.
group, and it's like,
Yeah.
there has to be more involvement. To me, I think
Yeah.
more people should have been there. I mean, you know, if you work downtown, especially like just to show the numbers. Have you seen what's going on everywhere else in the world? Have you seen what's going on in Chile? Have you seen what's going on in Hong Kong? Have you seen what's going on in Lebanon? Have you seen? These people have overthrown the government.
And kill people even if necessary. Well, you know, Byron Allen.
I don't even think that people necessarily had to die. For
No.
one
But
protest.
I'm just saying, like, those people are so focused
Right.
that it's like, even if I have to die, so be it. But for us, I just think that we get trapped in the matrix. But Byron Allen, you actually told me to watch that
Oh my
full
God.
interview, and I watched it, Kim. That's one of the best
Did you
interviews
watch
I
it?
saw. It was fire. It was fire.
I ain't had the time to sit down. It was like an hour and 12 minutes or something like that.
Bro, yeah, it's like an hour and 12,
I
but
gotta
it don't
put
even
But
feel
you don't
like
even
it.
realize.
I know, but I just don't. I gotta put some time to the side.
Yeah,
I
hey,
mean, if
you can play it when you driving,
Yeah, right.
when you
True,
chilling.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he says, well, actually, he said two things, not one thing. One of the biggest things that stuck out, Kim, was when he talked about activism, and he was saying that we don't understand our buying power as black people, and we don't understand that if we are going to protest, that we do need numbers, like what you said, and not the same old people. Because he was like, these billionaires just laugh at us because they already know that it's just going to be a few of us, and then over time we'll
get
fizzle
over
out,
it.
and then we'll be gone. And two, he was saying that we don't hold our politicians accountable, and he talked about President Obama. And he was saying that he actually endorsed him and told him what he needed from him, that he needed more inclusion with black people in finance,
He said
all
that
that stuff.
Asked him.
Yep.
Obama asked him what he thought about what was going on with the cable companies.
And he
because
told him.
Comcast or one of them
Yep.
approached their administration
Yep.
about
Yep.
about something. I can't
Yeah,
remember what
it was the act. It was the
Okay.
Civil Rights Act about.
you know, have they?
I know it's
been-
about media or,
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
about that. But
it's the inclusion.
He
of,
was saying that.
you know, people of color and whoever else in the media.
Yep.
So he asked Byron Allen if they had been doing that, if they had been doing a good job, and then Byron Allen was like, "As a matter of fact, no, they have
he
not."
told him straight up.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
And then he said that he's actually disappointed in President Obama. And I said, finally, somebody's being honest. He was saying that we got too comfortable and we were happy just to see somebody in office that looked like us, somebody who was smooth. But he was saying, Byron Allen himself was saying how he would tell President Obama, all right, I endorsed you, so I need X, Y, and Z. But he said he was doing everything for everybody else, but he didn't see him doing everything for black people. And I just thought that whole interview, that he was unapologetic, it was raw, and he didn't care. He said, I burned my knee pads a long time ago. I ain't bound down to nobody. So I was deep.
I don't remember that part. I didn't
Where-
remember the
what?
part about Obama. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
him
he
talking
spoke about that.
Obama. I remember him saying
Yeah.
that he approached him and he told him straight up about them not including.
It was like around 45 minutes in.
So then he was just okay. So
Yeah,
I mean because
Charlamagne the Guy, he actually spoke about that too.
Yeah.
And both of them, they had like a great dialogue about it, and pretty much the same thing that we say here is that we got too comfortable.
Yeah.
And he was saying how well spoken President Obama is, and he was saying he knew Barack before he was
I remember that
Senator
He was saying
and
that
President
he was-
Obama.
when
Right,
he was
right,
senator,
right, right. So I think hearing that from a black billionaire, someone that's not considered boule or someone that's not in the 10% or going pretty much along that flow, admitting and saying that I feel like he could have done more. So I respected that.
Yeah.
I
But
respected that.
So as far as it goes now with the Comcast, he's taking them to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he spent millions. That's what he said. He's
And so if the Supreme Court doesn't agree with his decision, that could mean a new precedent for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was saying that with companies like Xfinity, that technically us as black people, black entrepreneurs, we're supposed to have access to the equity, to the income that we can provide cable services throughout our own neighborhoods. But Xfinity has all the income. They have all the money. So they just monopolized everything. So if
they had the fiber optics, the cables,
he was saying that,
the
right?
infrastructure.
That's the word.
To do that.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
So again, with laws,
so it really wasn't
loopholes.
Even, yeah.
That's it.
Just watch it, and you guys watch it for yourself.
Yep.
And draw up your own conclusion. But I think it's something that we need to watch. And this decision is supposed to happen like November 13th.
It's huge.
So I was going down my internet timeline or my Instagram timeline, and I saw it said that Xfinity was going to drop stars. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I was reading about the Congress, the Congressional Black Caucus, the Congress people in the Congressional Black Caucus, Byron Allen asked them to write letters to on his behalf to say what he was saying was right, that we weren't being represented properly.
Right.
So he got a few, but not enough. One of the people 50 Cent was actually meeting with, and it's about 50 Cent is coming to them as him wanting to show a black representation. Mm-hmm. Byron Allen is coming to them as wanting to show ownership, sort of like what's going on in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You want a seat at the table, Jay-Z, but Kaepernick is doing what he's doing just to wake everybody up to the whole dynamics of the NFL and say, no, we need
disrupt
ownership. We need disrupt the entire system. Yeah. So they'll give you stars so you can watch people get killed and murdered, and that's a whole nother thing. Sell drugs and fuck. Yeah. And
you tell the truth.
And then, but when there's a Byron Allen that comes up and he's just like, no, we need our own network altogether.
And Kim, he said that we don't even have family shows. And I thought about that. He was like, when we talk about black film, we don't even talk about making animated films, Disney type movies.
I mean, because
simple
we
things
get
like
excited,
that.
Like, oh, there's a Black Cinderella this year.
Yeah, he was saying that.
We did.
Yeah, he was saying that.
Do you remember the WB?
Martin. Yeah, Jamie Foxx show.
Used to go from the Jamie Foxx show to Martin to
Living Single.
Living
Smart
Single.
Guy.
Even back when the Cosby Show was followed up with A Different World.
Yeah, that's huge.
Those shows, if you think about it, those shows aren't represented at all.
And that's sad.
Anymore in
those shows change lives.
That demographic of black family is not shown, but that's our fault.
No, I'm just saying in general, black, white, they used to have Full House, but they don't even.
They have a whole bunch of family black, white shows. The only show they have now for us is Blackish.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see it.
I'll probably say for white families, it's Modern Family. You have the Roseanne spinoff, the Goldbergs. You have
you got Meet the Browns.
But quality though, quality.
But I'm just saying, as far
I
as
feel you because I would probably say our biggest flaw, and I was telling Sid the same thing on the way here. No knock on Tyler Perry. As a businessman, I respect you, but I saw the Oval last week. I caught up on that, and it's trash. And me saying it's trash, I'm not saying that.
I tried to watch it yesterday.
Yeah, Kim.
I didn't catch on to it.
And reason being is because the acting is not there. The plot is pretty much like Scandal. I just don't see those same shows, like what you said, a Fresh Prince. We can still watch that till this day, and it's still good. Martin, you can still laugh watching that. Jamie Foxx, you can still laugh watching that. Living Single, you relate to it. But Girlfriends, you relate to it. But if Meet the Browns comes on, it's just like, okay, it's not quality. So, and I think what Byron Allen is trying to express, we don't have quality shows. Or, like what you said, if we do, it's powered. So, something has to change. Oh, Underground.
Yeah.
because they said it was starting to get too violent. Yeah, John Legend, he was mad about that. Because that was the
a
season.
great show.
You remember?
It's definitely up to it because I mean you got
Yep.
Insecure. That's a good show.
Insecure is solid.
Women, but you feel me?
But
We
here's
really
the
gotta
thing.
look for it. We really got to support. I'm sure they out
Yeah.
there, but I don't think they.
Listen,
they not as,
okay.
prevalent.
Push,
So
yeah.
These are okay. These are television shows that you guys are talking about. You have to subscribe to. I'm talking about just you turn on your TV,
Fox 5, yeah.
ABC, NBC. Like,
Because Insecure comes on HBO.
everybody can
Yeah.
tailor make
Yeah.
television or the
Yeah.
media or whatever you expose your family to. Everybody could pick and choose that.
Yeah.
Whatever is out there, you know, hey, why don't you watch this? Well, no, I want to watch that because that's what everybody else is watching. That's what everybody does. Like, sure, you can do that, but are you going to be included in the social media conversation? Like, I would not want my kids to watch Power. Sorry, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want.
Lala herself said that she don't let her kids watch it. She was in it. So what does that tell you? Right. And then she was saying at school, all of Cayenne's friends are telling him, you know, your mom was smashing Tommy on Power. Think about being 14, 13, going to school
I don't
and
know.
somebody telling you that.
That's not the family I would use as an example to prove anything. No,
Yeah,
but that's just
you were
me.
going in. Yeah, yeah. So how do you feel about it, Kim? Like, what should we do when we see shows that's not up to par? How do we implement quality black-owned shows or
if
black
you get with
represented
a
shows?
person like Tyler Perry wants to do that, so support his shows.
Yeah.
If you see Byron Allen wants to do that, Comcast has funded this new movie, Harriet, right?
I heard it was.
There are so many people that are bashing it and they're boycotting it because of the accuracy of the story. And there's a bunch of people that are boycotting it because of Comcast's role in what they're doing with the whole Byron Allen situation. And there are people that are saying it was wonderful and they walked out of there with their head held high because of the things that she done for black people.
Who directed the movie? Y'all know?
I forgot the person's name, and I was just listening about it last night. You'll be able to. Kim got us. And I think people, they just got tired of slave movies too, Kim.
Why don't y'all ever get tired of drug dealer movies?
Because
Why
at
don't
least,
y'all ever
because
get
I'll say
tired
this.
of Casey Lemons is, is
that's
an
who it was.
American, African American
She produced,
film director.
I can't think of the film. You could probably see it.
I mean, I get it if people are tired of slave movies, but how come nobody ever gets tired of movies about kingpins or drug
Because
dealers?
kingpins have power.
And I think for me, with slave movies, sometimes they make them depressing. Like
That's
it's
what
like,
on purpose.
I mean, it is depressing.
It is, and I don't want to watch that all the time because
There's
you
no
bring that
power
energy
in it.
into you. Like, of course, you want to know
Yeah.
your history. I understand that, but for me to sit and watch, like my stepfather, he made us sit and watch Roots. I was pissed the whole time.
And
I
Roots
was
is like
young,
10
I
hours,
was
bro.
just- but it was just like, man, it's
So if
depressing
you,
seeing people
so
get with.
I mean,
In those
it is
drug dealer
depressing.
movies, you seeing people overcome
Power.
obstacles.
I
It might
told her
not
that.
be the
Yeah.
most positive way, but they're going to an outcome like they're changing their lives. Like
Yeah. And see, too,
entertaining.
I think
And
that.
they always end up in jail though. So
Yeah, but Kim, what I'll probably say
and
is
jail is
slavery.
what continue,
But they don't show that in the movie. They
Right.
don't show that part in the movie. They just say they went to jail and they might cut off and say
Yeah,
they served.
Frank Lucas, as you saw in American Gangster, they even show him in prison. They showed him when he got out.
Yeah, they showing the.
Godfather of
so
Harlem.
you don't
they
see a
even
problem
showed
with that?
No,
I see more of a problem
If
with
I was
slavery.
a Martian and I only came to this world because I didn't know anything better and someone threw me here and they told me to learn about this country from watching television and all I saw was that, do you think I would not think that drug dealing was so glamorous and just like really try to get into that because that seems to be the way to make money?
I mean, I get what you're coming from, but with that same argument, if a Martian came down here and watched a slave movie,
You would think,
they
oh, we
might-
are slaves.
Oh, we're supposed to be slave owners. We're supposed to
That's
treat
real.
people like this. So it kind of, for me personally, I just feel like if we gonna make slave movies or we gonna talk about slavery,
I think that
whole shit, the whole thing wasn't that depressing. I'm sure we had good moments we can pull out of those.
Slave
Let's make
rebellions.
movies
We
on
had just
those.
as many slave
You feel
rebellions.
me?
Yeah.
Let's
The
stop
fact
making
that-
movies showing that these people were controlling us. Let's tell our narrative.
We ain't got no movies about Haiti, that
Feel me?
revolution.
It ain't even got to be no deep movie like
Yeah.
that. But I'm just saying,
Historical
like,
facts.
Let's make a movie telling how we made the best out of slavery.
That's
You
real.
feel me? How we still have family dinners during slavery. How we
still
was-
survive.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
instead of making about how we escaped and we going against these oppressors and all that. It's other stories, other parts of the story.
And then too, I think with slave movies and especially with the movie Harriet, one of the biggest critiques about it was that the guy's name, it escapes me at the moment, but there was a black man that was chasing Harriet. He was a slave catcher all throughout the film. And everyone was saying historically, you find that in none of the records. But then a white man saves Harriet. And that's, again, not even historically accurate. And I think where everyone is tired is that with these slave movies, it's the same thing over and over and over. And we get it. We were once slaves, but we don't have any movies prior to our history before slavery.
Do we get it?
We do get it.
Do we get
That's
it?
the problem.
I mean, if we got
think like
it, then why
slaves.
wouldn't we get that? The
We
only thing
think
that
like
stopped
slaves.
us from being that, from the only thing that stopped us from that to what we are now are laws that passed.
No.
Laws.
I feel like it's way bigger than that.
What is the only reason
Our
a
psychology.
white person can't wake up to you right now and say, come to my house and clean it up is because laws. That's against the law. That is against the law.
But at the same time, we still have white people that's coming inside of homes killing us, which
But-
is against the law.
Well, they are
Like,
going
you feel
to
what I'm saying?
jail.
Maybe. Or even if they do, they don't really
They
serve
don't-
time.
right.
Black Wall Street, that was 9/11 before 9/11.
Okay, but this is the thing. I don't think that if you watch it, you should feel bad. I think it should empower you to move in a direction of where we've come because of where we were.
It's redundant. Roots was 30, 40 years ago, and then they made a second Roots. And then we got Harriet. Then we got 12 Years a Slave.
All the same narrative.
We
It's
get
the
it.
Same movie,
We get
different
it.
character.
But
We were
don't
slaves.
but why don't we ever get tired of movies that
It's
people
rid-
do stuff
it's not
that
empowering.
make us go to prison, and prison
No,
is the
you
new
looking
slavery.
at that. It's when you look at you get inspired. Like when I watch Paid in Full,
You don't get inspired by
I get
Roots.
inspired when I watch Paid in Full.
Yeah.
Like man, this nigga came from nothing, from working in the
He got
cage.
creative.
So what about looking at the slave movie like we came from nothing and now
It's
we
redundant
are
because
like,
here's why, Kim. How many times in a slave movie have you seen the slave rebel and kill the slave master and become free? None. How many times
Well,
have you seen the
obviously
slave?
they did. That's why
Jay
we're
Black,
here.
can you answer that question for me? How many times in a slave movie have we seen
don't
the
really
slave
watch them.
kill the slave master and become free? None. Birth of a Nation with Nat Turner, but he still died at the end.
we
We won't
watch,
see none of that.
We watch every week movies about TV shows.
It's
about,
too many slave movies, Kim.
I think it's too many drug dealer movies.
We got more slave movies than we got drug dealer movies. By
I
far.
don't think so.
No, I know so. We could pull that up right
Even
now.
on TV every day, you have series. Like, what series do you have on TV right now about slavery?
We got
Underground was good because it told the story about them getting out.
But here's the problem. Although there's not series about slavery or a lot of series, there's way more movies about slavery. And then two, where our problem lies
we have
is
cult classics about selling drugs. We have Scarface.
But
we have all the
I feel
drug
you,
dealer movies.
Godfather, all this. I feel you, Kim.
Classics.
Yeah, hey, and look, here's the thing.
And-
that stuff is just as bad, but again,
It's not just black cult classics.
yeah,
Them
you got
worldwide
mafia,
cult
all that
classics,
stuff.
like-
And see, too, Kim. All right, let's say this. And I used to say this all the time when I watch Netflix. I see a King Henry movie. I see this Game of Thrones. I see all these white European kingdoms. But
why
how
do
many?
y'all watch that?
But I don't. But here's the thing: how many black movies do we have
You
about
can
black
talk,
royalty?
the microphone is over there.
He said he chilling.
I see him like wanting to say something so bad.
But
Say I never seen the King. How don't see it?
that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what you
The
should
Moors.
encourage. Make
None of that.
Make those
But
movies.
but we got 12 Years a Slave.
Make
But we
those
got
movies.
Harriet.
Make those movies.
But we can't make the movies if we don't have the capital, and we can't make those movies if the people like the Tyler Perrys aren't making them.
Well, the 50 Cents aren't making them either. Y'all not on him.
But
He
50
makes-
Cent-
He
But
makes
50
shows
Cent,
about.
he's playing his
Yeah.
lanes. It was the drug dealer lane, so he's making movies.
He had to get
or
a foot in the
TV
door.
series, related to that. It's
Yeah.
showing. It's basically if you take the drug dealing out of it, it's just showing a person overcoming obstacles.
Exactly.
That's all it really is. Like that's all those shows, and that's why
And
people
problem
like that,
solving.
because they like to see the underdog win. It's like an underdog win.
So every week somebody gets shot, right?
But the slave never wins in a slave movie. Kim, the slave never wins. Not once. Never.
Somebody won, or else we wouldn't be sitting here.
But not in the films that they play. We don't talk about the Gullah Wars. We don't talk about the slave rebellions.
We need to encourage those movies.
We
Make
have.
those movies. Make those
We
movies.
have. It's just sometimes the people, especially who look like us in power, keep making Boo, keep making Medea, keep making The Oval. Like, we don't make any powerful black films.
Well, you
It's
need
the
to
same
get
old,
on
same
Tyler
old.
Perry's butt and say,
We've been on them.
make movies. But this is the thing. He made his money from that crowd, and the people that watch those Medea and that whole crowd.
I'm not mad at that. Just like
everybody
50
has
Cent
a
is in
role.
his lane, Tyler Perry is in his lane.
Everybody has a role.
It's somebody else coming up. What's the one cat? The dude that directed Black Panther.
Ryan Coogler.
He kind of make movies that relate.
And
to
look, as you saw, Black Panther made more than all
Bill
that.
Station.
Yeah,
Bill
Black
Station,
Panther
like-
was a
Why?
positive black
Why,
movie.
Kim? Because it was black royalty.
Yes.
So I'm just saying that will make you all the money in the world. And white people are so fascinated by us that they'll come see it too. But where the problem lies is nobody has any nuts. It's that simple.
So let me ask you a question. As far as it relates to your daily life today,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the power and the influence of media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that whose influence are you trying to influence? Is it, what demographic do you think is the most powerful? Where what they see influences their mind enough to make decisions out in the world? Who would you say that is?
I think right now, it's between 13 and 24.
13 and 24. Okay.
I would say that demographic.
Grab a bunch of 13 to 24-year-olds, and you think that if you sit and let them watch, I don't know, insert movie, drug dealer movie, or if you sit and let them watch, I don't know, insert 12 Years a Slave, with the historical content and everything in 12 Years a Slave, and with the social and economical content in Power, what do you think is going to influence them the most today?
Power. I would say power.
Yeah.
Because today, that would, like, they're not gonna.
So then why is everybody still screaming, oh my God, they make so many slave movies? They're not gonna fucking think about slavery, 13 to 24-year-olds. You know what they're gonna think about? Getting fresh, getting bitches, getting money, and getting to the club. So that's why I keep saying
I feel like
down
it's
to the
superior.
director changing the narrative of those slave movies. When you watch those slave movies, they gonna sit there like they in class, like, damn, I'm ready for this shit. Because it's like when you with Power, it's teaching you shit and you don't realize you learn this stuff. Or these other shows, drug dealing is teaching you how to manage money. You don't even
You problem solving.
Problem solving. You don't even realize you're learning it, but you are.
Yep.
When you're watching these documentaries, you know you're learning it. You're watching this to learn. It's just like, man, when I'm in class, I fall asleep in class. And it's just like, people don't want to feel like they getting taught it all the time when they watching TV for in their leisure time.
And then too, I feel like that's why so many black students don't get engaged in school, is because we're always taught about how bad we were, that we were less than. So anytime when it's time to talk about history, nobody wants to pay attention because once again, we were slaves, but y'all ruled Europe. Y'all ruled this. This guy, he's the father of this. He's the inventor of this.
Already. It's already.
And lies like Socrates, he's the father of this.
Cloud over slave movies.
So it's like I ain't even gonna watch it because we already know what's gonna happen. Especially with Harriet when she was saying people ain't supposed to own people.
But you
like I'm not
already
trying
know
to hear
she
that.
was
Man.
but she was a spy. She was a fucking. She was
Yeah.
a leader. Harriet. For the government.
Harriet. She was amazing, but
she did a lot of shit. It wasn't like she just escaped and then she went back and got people. Like she legit.
She was amazing.
People started recognizing the fact that she did this, and the government came to her like, "Yo, can you help us out?" She was a major figure in the Civil War.
She changed the world.
Major figure.
But where the problem lies is in the preview. When I saw the preview,
they already tell you, like, even
it's trash.
In history, they tell you that she couldn't.
The government try to help her because they seen the shit of them losing.
Yep.
As far
And they had to get black soldiers.
and all that.
Yep.
Those already going to the.
Well, I didn't see the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
You had to go side with her.
Yep.
So that's when they started going side with her.
That's real. Yep.
Honest.
Yep.
To the benefit of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of benefit of us. Benefit of them.
And that's how it's always been.
So always remember.
Yep.
Don't get lost in the sauce.
Yep.
There's a lot of sauce. Don't get lost.
You telling the truth. And Kim, I mean, just like what he said, which was perfect, we got to realize that unless it's us telling these stories, I don't want to hear it. Like when I heard about the black slave catcher chasing her all throughout the movie, and that's nowhere in history. Why is that necessary? And then she gets saved by a slave master. Where is that in the facts? Where?
Well, they embellish a lot of shit. In a lot of movies.
But with a movie like Harriet, we ain't got to do that.
Yeah, no, you don't have
feel
to
me?
do that, right? Because the historical content is out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Historical content.
That's what I'm saying.
I haven't seen it. I probably won't see it, but I'm just telling y'all what's going on and why the internet is.
I hear you
going back and forth about it.
And Kim, like, don't get it wrong. Like, I'm with you 110%. I'm just saying, playing, devil's advocate, is that everybody's just tired. Like, we're tired of not seeing empowering movies, and I felt like that's why Black Panther was so successful. Because for once, you saw us with power. Yeah. And it's like in a slave movie, we've been hearing that we were slaves since the first grade. So it's like we get it. But we don't get any stories about prior to slavery.
I think about people in other countries, and I think about how they took the struggle that their ancestors went through to a different level and have very passionate movements or organizations and would put their life on the line defending and sticking up for it.
Yep.
I don't see us getting that.
Yep.
I don't see us getting that.
Yep.
Not to say that, some people do. I'm not going to say everybody, but I don't know, we walk away like, we don't want to see that. Oh my God, I don't want to see that. And for some people, that wasn't the true history of their family, because you could have came from another country. You could have came here and maybe your parents were a part of a family that didn't make them work outside.
Right.
Everybody's family had a different story, but for the descendants of slaves that have found out that they are truly descendants of slaves and they see what their ancestors went through.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the story that they want to tell, look, Henry Louis Gates has a whole television show, and he helps people find out whether their ancestors were slaves and what their families had to go through to get them where they are now. Yeah. So I think some people take it and they feel bad, and some people take it and they're like, yo, I'm not going back to that. So I'm going to make sure my family is straight, or I'm going to make sure that I'm not in the same, I'm never in the same position. I'm going to own as much property as I can. Some people go back and they find out that they're descendants of slaves, and they actually buy the property that their family worked on.
Or people like you, like you were
journey.
able to actually go back to the place, sit down.
I mean, I go,
feel the space.
Yeah, I go to the space. I've seen it. I've walked around there. Some people actually do that. So it's like an individual thing, right? Some people take it and they're like, oh no, boo, we don't want to hear that. And some people take it like, yo, I just found out my ancestors were slaves. Yeah. Yo, we did not get shit. We actually did this shit for free. And then they go back and they do their research and they take that, and it empowers them. Yeah. And they are better off with their money because of it. They decide to purchase stuff. They decide, yo, I'm representing this block on this shirt, or I'm out here selling drugs on this block, claiming this block. I don't own shit on this motherfucking block. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends on the person, I guess, because I get tired of seeing Black people passionate representing spaces that they don't own or have any ownership in. For example, the NFL. And I get tired of us not going as hard for people that disrespect us. Like, it's easy to go in and be a Twitter gangster about a movie, but what are you actually doing to encourage people to make the movies that you want to see? You know what I mean? Like, go to the movies when you see that. Like, everybody showed up for Wakanda, right?
Yep.
But
that's what I'm saying. I don't think nothing is wrong with making that type of content. Like I say, with the Harriets and all that, like, that's our history, so I understand that. But it seems like when it comes to like major films, it's always that same storyline: a slave escaping. But you see, Black Panther was a different story. It had nothing to do with slavery. It was Black royalty, things like that. Even when Eldridge was about to get James Bond, you feel me? Just seeing a black man in those
representation.
Roles, let's make those type of movies instead of focusing on slavery. And I know, like, I'm not gonna say slavery wasn't bad, but I know 100% of the time it wasn't negative the whole time. We Black people, so we gonna make some fun out of this shit. I know we
wouldn't have gotten where we are now. We
probably still had parties in slavery.
Of course we did.
You feel me? Like, that's what I'm saying. Let's make
people were still getting married.
For example, they made house party. You can make slavery party. Not saying
that. Or Django
party or some shit.
How
like
Django was.
But we gotta show those different sides. Yeah. Like, we still want to be entertained. Yep. We don't want to watch no documentary all the time.
Yeah.
We do want to watch that sometimes, but we want to be entertained. These shows, power, it's entertaining. Yeah. People watch it because of that.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Slavery is our whole history.
That's the only thing.
It is
that's
this
another
small
thing.
Compared to millions of years.
We're not talking about the genes, the individuals that are notable genes that make things to what we're using today.
We ain't got no George Washington Carver movie. We ain't got none of that.
That's what I'm saying. We just talking about one area.
400 years.
All our movies focus on that one area.
That's a speck of time, bro.
And another thing, that I feel is that the Jim Crow era was even worse than slavery.
Byron Allen
as
said
far
that.
As,
Yep.
Yeah, he did, didn't
Yep,
he?
yep.
As far as the laws that were implemented to keep you, because like he said, Byron Allen did say, if you go back to slavery, like black people felt like they had a place, they belonged somewhere. After the slaves were free and they
I brought you here to work for free, so now I can't get anything out of you.
Right. So
Yeah,
they have no
you're
use
wasting
to you.
space.
So they actually want you to die.
Oh, easy. Yeah, we know this. Yep.
3/5 of a human.
Yeah.
Right, right.
In the Constitution,
Yep.
the government.
Yeah. That's how they
The
feel.
government you talking about
Right.
that came along with Harriet Tubman.
Right.
Yeah.
So you gotta look at who you dealing with. You talking about why we not getting this? Is that who controls the media?
That's it.
Who controls?
But
the
that's
media?
how we started this whole conversation. Byron Allen wants to be able to have a seat at the table based on the law that was implemented that said that black people should all have a seat at this table. But the cable companies are not letting him. And we, as the
He
people,
called them racist, too.
at the
He
end
already
of the
said to shut
day,
up.
we
Yeah.
the people are the ones that have all the control, all the powers in the people. If we turn off, if we cut off the cable, if we cut off, everybody wants a movement, but nobody wants to move. I say this all
That's
the
real.
time.
Yeah.
If you are really, really serious about wanting to have this thing, you got to cut something off.
Yeah.
That's why, again, that's why Colin Kaepernick did what he did, and that's why Jay-Z did what he did. It's undercutting him. So Byron Allen is doing what he's doing, and it's like he could change the whole scope of the whole thing, or you can just get 50 Cent and be like, okay, well, we just want to have a channel. Like, we want stars. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you got to look at the whole thing. If you really want to affect the change, then you got to say, yo, we're going to give up something, or we're not going to
And
get
just
it.
being real, I said this to my brother like 2 weeks ago about power, because I actually told him, Kim, from hearing stuff from you, that y'all know that Xfinity is actually running 50 stuff, right? He was like, nah. And then now, actually seeing what's happening, he's like, damn, you were right. And I was trying to tell him, what if 50 just said, I can create my own app and just stream it on this app? And it's that simple. And I feel like we got to get back to just ownership and realizing that you can just do it on your own.
I mean, do you really want ownership?
What's up, Lou?
I think cable it's real low right now. Everybody,
That's what I'm saying.
everybody
So it's like, technically, does he even need Xfinity?
exactly.
Nah, like he could post it on YouTube if he wanted to.
Or he could team up and
Well,
put it on.
I think the only thing with Xfinity, you gotta think of Xfinity like a record label.
So
They got a bigger
distribution,
reach, so
it reaches
gonna-
the audience.
It's gonna make you more money.
That's real.
So that's the thing about them, and they probably take a lot of your work away, like
Yeah.
a lot of the different things you might have to do.
Employees too.
Yeah,
They
like,
probably
so-
give you. That's real,
They
but
coming Xfinity, they already coming with you start with 1 million subscribers because you got whoever subscribed
Off the
to
boat,
Xfinity,
yeah.
you don't get that. You know,
That's
so it's
true.
just like,
That's true.
It's that plug. Too,
that's
like,
true. I just think it takes somebody
well,
sacrificing
streaming, and
as
that's
well,
why all the cable companies have moved towards streaming.
because people started to change it.
to
Yeah.
change. They're like,
Yeah.
we don't need
Yeah.
the cable box anymore. We'll just stream whatever we want to stream.
But
on
they
TV.
already doing that though without Xfinity because you got a Stars app, you got an HBO
Yeah.
app, and you can
BET
That's
sign
true.
directly through
has
it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I got Roku. I
baby step-
watch
see?
everything through that. I
it's
don't
baby
have to go
steps.
out.
I feel like, Dolomite Is My Name. That's one film that people should probably check out as well. Seeing how Rudy Ray Moore, he went all underground. Record labels or people, they weren't trying to pick him up, and he sold it out his trunk. You just got to make something shake. So it's a process.
We're going to get it together. Speaking of, so another thing we wanted to get into was the Cop Watch America show. Have you guys seen it?
Shout out to the cast.
Shout out to the cast. We've had a few of them on the show. Check out our previous episode with Queen Yanazdaha and City.
Yeah.
We have seen, and like I was telling you guys at the Day of Outrage protest, I saw a lot of the people that are on the show out there.
Griggs was there too, right?
Griggs was there, yeah. A couple of activists that follow us on our page. Shout out to you guys. Actually, my phone died when I was out there. I was trying to get an Uber back home, and I couldn't. And I got into one Uber but I put that I was going to my house, but really my car was at my job. So the Uber driver let me out like in this downtown alleyway where all
He
these
just was
homeless
like, it's time for you to
people-
bounce.
And oh my God, it was a nightmare. But anyway, one of the guys took me out,
That's what's
took me
up.
back home. Shout out to him, all the way back to Cobb County. But Cop Watch is good. Will we all agree? Have you guys
like
seen
it.
it? No, nobody
like
watches it.
I
Have
like
you seen
it.
it? You watch Cop Watch?
I
No.
gotta catch
Y'all.
episode 2. I ain't had to check that.
That's
So
good. I feel
they have a great show. They actually go out and they show Atlanta and they show New York. And the New York cop watchers, they actually get together whenever there's something going on and they watch the cops and make sure the cops are following their right protocol, make sure that
Right.
they have recordings in case the interaction goes south. So great show, especially since we have had cops our whole lives growing up romanticizing the idea of police, and now we have live PD and everything glorifying police and making sure that they are.
We got a million police shows.
So we have a million
on TV.
police shows. When the recent interaction with police have shown that they have made some grave mistakes, and some of them have gone to jail and been prosecuted for murder,
right.
and don't do their job correctly and don't follow protocol. And so this just sheds light on the behind the scenes work that cops do. In Atlanta, not so much really cop watching. In Atlanta, they kind of show the protests and the activism that's going on. They show the Jimmy Atchison trial. They catch up with him. I don't know if you guys remember the young man in Valdosta that was in high school, and his he got rolled up into a gym mat.
And he took his organs out. Yep.
Kendrick. And
his name was actually, his middle name was Lamar, I think. It was like
really?
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah.
Kendrick Johnson?
Yeah, it was like Kendrick Lamar Johnson or something like that.
So he, I met his mom, and, you know, she was just like, where is everybody? You know, I just like it's strength in numbers, and I'm all about pictures. And I'm like, you know, like they said, the 1960s civil rights leaders, they all got to the point where they were like, yo, we need photographers. We need to show the people in the North what they're doing in the South. And when they saw what they were doing in the South, they got active, and they were like, yo, what's going on? They called the congressman, they called the president, they came down and marched with the people. So I think that these images that were being shown are forcing people to act, even if it's just social media activism, even if it's just a tweet, even if it's just bringing awareness. So I agree with the whole Cop Watch show. I think everybody should watch it. I think it should encourage people to do their own cop watching in their own neighborhood, or do their own activism in their own neighborhood, or find a case that lights your spirit up that you should, you know, follow. Go to the, you know what it looks like? Let me tell you what it looks like. You know what it looks like? And it doesn't matter to anybody until it happens to you, right? Because you're just living your life. Oh, my kids are good. My son would never. My daughter's an angel. And next thing you know, your kid is drunk somewhere getting into an altercation. We're going to get into the case about.
I was about to say, that's crazy. That's a real situation.
But, you know, and next thing you know, your kid is, or your best friend or your brother is accused of something, and the cops shot them. And the only thing you get is a phone call like your kid is dead, right? What do you do? Who do you call? You have to have a lawyer. First of all, the morgue is going to call you in 3 or 4 days and say, what are you doing with this body? Wow. Then you got to find a place to bury the person. Then you got to still kind of get like the whole thing with the lawyer while you're mourning. So when these cops are brought to task and they go to court, what do you think it looks like when there's so many people in the courtroom that they can't close the door? What message do you think that's sending to people? Like, no, we're not having it. What are y'all going to do? Because
Patrick, he actually sent that message. When he went, you know, Pat, you actually spoke about the comment he made on Cop Watch. I forgot Pat's Instagram handle.
The TL activist?
Yeah.
The active activist.
Yep.
Everybody
active activist. That's what it is. But Pat, he was at the Robert Olson hearing. He was saying how packed it was.
That's right.
And Olson, he got convicted. So you telling the truth, 110%.
Yeah. So I think that even if there's a protest in your area, nobody is saying go down there and start screaming and throwing shit.
He was chilling.
Just show up. Just show that there's bodies present. Just show that there's a crowd.
People care.
You know how how your president gets on TV or on the internet and be like, oh, we had a whole bunch of people show up at the rally. That's what I'm talking about. Even if you really, at the end of the day, think to yourself, man, I don't know. Show up anyway, because if that was your kid,
you'll be there.
You would want somebody else to be there.
That's right.
You and your family might not just cut it. You need to have people. There's strength in numbers.
That's right.
So I don't know. It's a lot. You know, I went down there. We saw everybody. We heard everybody speak. There might have been like 50 people there. I don't know. And I think that just because Atlanta is the home of civil rights, it doesn't look right when you know.
Atlanta is becoming Hollywood. We being lulled to sleep. That's just all what it is. But I mean, I still feel like we still have people out here.
Of course we do.
Yeah. But
I want everybody to follow one of the activists, one of the lawyers. Follow or get on our page, CTD_ATL on Instagram. Follow us. If you see something, I get so many inboxes about stuff, and I have to go research it. I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Like I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm not gonna lie, but I do research some, and I found one here locally in Atlanta. Okay. About a young man. What's his name?
You talking about the attorney or the
one that happened in your
Deontay Davis.
Deontay J.R. Davis.
Yeah, prayers to him. Big
Oh
time.
my God.
Yeah.
His family has to be going through so much. I actually tried to find his family, and that text I sent you was one of his homeboys. So that's another twist to this story.
Wow.
But we ain't gonna get into that.
It
What
was
happened
scary
to
when you
him
posted that.
online?
Yeah.
Follow our page, CTD_ATL. The young man was at a party drinking with his friends, came back to his dorm, what is it?
Apartment.
Off-campus housing.
Well, they call it off campus, but Cortland is
It's for
on
everybody.
campus. Yeah, Cortland is
Oh,
on
okay.
campus. Yeah. Yeah.
So he
Cortland Street.
and his friends were arguing, fighting. The security guard came. Security guard got into it. Somehow he and the security guard got into it, fighting, as well as the friends. They knocked him out.
Well, he actually followed him onto the elevator. And then when they got off the elevator on his floor, the security guard, not a cop, security guard, follows him to his room and then goes inside his room and then he kills him.
And they
Snaps his
started
neck.
fighting.
And he snapped his neck.
The friend said he hit him in the face. He
And he
snapped
died
his
instantly.
neck. But the autopsy is saying he died from chest compressions, which I keep calling him a cop. He's a security
guard. He's not a cop. Yeah.
The security guard
Yeah.
said he tried to do CPR.
No, man, I ain't
but
trying
the
to hear that.
homeboy
Yeah.
said
And it's on
he
video.
tried to do CPR too.
And it's
so
on
that's
video.
going to be interesting to see what they
And they got it
do
on
with
video.
that.
Yeah.
But they have it all on video.
Well, half of it. He was white
He's
security.
white
I was about to
security
get into that. I mean, we already know how the story
I think they
goes.
said he's 27,
We already know
28.
Well,
This
but,
kind of was very reminiscent of Trayvon Martin for me. So I
yeah,
kind of,
super cop. God, that's
you know,
not even.
I'm a security guard type shit.
I'ma be
you
the
know,
best of my- but Kim,
I don't know.
people, they got to understand context. I stayed in that same apartment. I stayed in that same building my senior year of college, which was just last year. Well, really this year. All the way up until, when was it, Sid? August?
When you moved out?
Yeah, August.
July.
And 112 always had an all-black staff, but 112 was infamous for bad security. It was people that got shot at
heard.
Waffle House. I remember that day, and I was supposed to be outside, and I wasn't outside at that time, and the person got shot right outside at Waffle House. People got robbed all the time, and the security will always say that's not part of my job description, right?
I mean, it shouldn't be. Call the cops.
But here's the thing.
And
you
don't
say
even call them. Damn, what are you gonna do?
you used to tell people like myself, people like my friends, whoever, they used to give me a hard time. They used to question me if I even stayed there. I looked like I was doing something and I wasn't. And I never had nothing on me, or if I did, I'm not gonna be dumb and show it to you. So my only thing is at the end of the day, they were always hard on people. Even the black ones. And I tell people, especially in Atlanta, just because you see a black cop, black security guard, just because you kin to me, you're not kin to me. Because at the end of the day, they feel like that they blue, they whatever. So you got to prove yourself to me.
So we're gonna keep up with that.
It's just
case,
sad because I feel like
I
people.
see that they had a memorial service for him, and I'm hoping that they didn't bury him because I want them to get an independent autopsy.
Yeah, and again, I think people need to understand the context behind 112. And people don't know that 112 has been bad when it comes to security, when it comes to the people not being active. And seeing how we've only had one white security guard my whole time there, and he was older, and he was about to retire. So seeing that this was a younger white security guard and a black kid died by his hands, it's just a bad look. It's a really bad look. So, I mean, something has to change because these are the same people who always say that they can't go above and beyond. There used to be fights, they would never break them up, and they would say that that's not part of my job description. But then now somebody goes all the way inside somebody's room or to his room and kills him. So that's crazy.
I don't know. Did we talk about we're gonna follow up on that case. Keep following us, CTD_ATL, because I'm gonna post updates to see what's going on. If there's some sort of a gathering where we need to get together and just support the family, and like I say, show up in numbers, I'll go, I'll tape it, I'll let y'all know. I just passed a protest right here on my way here at Exxon. What's going on with that? Have you guys seen that? There's protests in the Exxon because they said that they're price gouging.
Oh, well.
You didn't see the Exxon right there?
I didn't.
On the corner?
Nah.
They're out there protesting.
Oh, wow. You can catch that CTDATL.com too on Deontay's story.
Yeah, Caleb did a good article on that,
Yeah,
and
it was
especially
sad.
coming from
Thank
somebody
you.
that used to live there.
Yeah.
I think that it's a good.
And you saw on Yelp, 112 got like a half star out of 5.
No, I didn't go that far.
Yep. I'm gonna put it on the article. I copied and pasted people's reviews, and people said the same thing. Like people didn't feel safe, or the security guards, they weren't doing their jobs. And again, it's just sad just seeing a kid in college And, I'm not saying that it was okay for him to be belligerent if he was or being drunk, but his life shouldn't have to end because of something like that.
Yeah.
So, especially where he lives. Again, we keep seeing people dying by the hands of police officers, security guards.
In the blackest city
where
in
they live.
the world, and where they live.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember the girl we were just talking about on the way here?
Oh, yeah. It was another situation with a security guard at the apartment complex right beside 112. A girl got in a fight with a security guard there, too.
She broke the water.
Yeah.
And flooded 3 floors. She broke the water.
Yeah, so Georgia State's having a lot of issues right now with security guards
Yeah.
and the students. So
Did we talk about the update on the impeachment?
no, we haven't.
So the impeachment, they've set up the rules for the public part of the hearing. They've been having closed door hearings. Have you guys been watching that? Okay.
I'm kind of tired of Trump. I ain't even gonna lie.
They've been having closed door hearings, so they set up the rules for a public hearing. So we'll be able to see all the shade and all the shit. So more Americans have gone toward approval of him being impeached. Hopefully that will stop him from running or stop him from winning another election, because there's two sides to this thing. He's already an active president, which impeachment would hinder him, and then he could run again. But if you put what Mueller put out in the report earlier along with what they're finding out during these impeachment hearings, it all makes sense. During his campaign, he tried to lay a shady blueprint for what his presidency was going to look like. He was going to be extorting people. He was going to be running down on people. He was going to be shaking people
boss,
down.
Man.
So what he's getting impeached for, not the other shit, not the 50 million other things that he did during his campaign, because guess what? 50 to 80% of the people that were involved in that are already in jail.
Wow.
So if you just bring it to what he's doing now, the thing with the Ukrainians, they needed help from us, right? So he said, okay, we'll give you help if you give us information on Joe Biden. Yeah. Remember, during the whole campaign inquiry, the Mueller report, Robert Mueller found out that he was trying to shake down everybody. The Russians are trying to shake him down. They're trying to get shit together. Yep. And so they lied to him, and he's so stupid, he believed them. And he said, oh, that wasn't us that was hacking the Democratic server and leaking all this information to WikiLeaks. It was the Ukrainians that were doing that. And his dumbass believed them. So when he needed to get information on Joe Biden, he hit the Ukrainians up like, yo, I know Russia's trying to like kill y'all and everything. And we're going to give y'all some guns and shit. Yeah. But in order for us to do that, we need you to find us some info on Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. And they were just like, what? So the people that were in the meeting, the people that knew what was going on, tried to like, yo, I just was involved in this meeting and it was very inappropriate. So people started leaking it, telling everybody what was going on. So now those people have been brought in by Congress for questioning.
It's a wild
They've been having meetings closed door. The Republicans are all in an uproar, and they are actually running down on the meetings. Did you guys see that on the news when all of them got together and like tried to barge in the meeting? Like, what's going on in here? We weren't invited. Yes, you were.
Wow.
They're just doing all this pomp and circumstance to try to impress Trump. Why you guys follow him on Twitter, I don't know. I think that if there was a mass unfollow him shit, people in the world will understand.
I can't remember if this was just proposed or was it action, but then they on Twitter they just made it that they banning all like political ads. And
okay,
stuff like
they're going to ban political ads on Twitter.
That's interesting.
Because Twitter is not going to go through the rigmarole of trying to figure out who's lying and who's not.
Oh, so yeah, they're not trying to be like Facebook.
Right. Facebook has been brought up for, and that's that they post lies. They don't care. As long as you pay them, they'll post it. They'll even support you, whoever you are, whatever. Yeah. Twitter's not doing that. They're just like, no, we're not posting any ads.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the impeachment inquiry. I think everybody should pay attention to it because it's going to set the stage for what is allowed during the presidency.
Yeah.
I read a poll where like split 40-something Americans think that this is just regular, like this is just what politicians do, which it is. It is. People do this all the time. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, if you're old enough to remember the Bush presidency, but we still don't know what's going on with him and the Middle Easterners and that oil shit. But he never got caught. So whatever. Yeah. But so they're gonna go forward with it. They set up the rules so that it could be public. So we'll be able to peep in and see what's going on with that.
So plan B, what do we do if Trump gets reelected? because we can't
I
just
mean,
panic.
it's not that
and
if he
we
gets
can't be scared.
reelected. This is another thing I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
People still haven't gotten behind strongly a Democratic candidate or another Republican candidate. Anybody. Only thing I hear people do on the internet all day is waste their energy dissing him, dissing
No, I feel
whoever. Like, get behind somebody, because guess what? Beto O'Rourke, he's out now.
Yep.
So if you thought he was a strong candidate and he represented what you wanted to have done in this country, guess what? Too late. You should have been behind him. You should have been contributing. You should have been finding. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
feel you.
it's not like you wait until everybody else picks. Like, we don't get involved enough. That was one of the reasons why we wanted to do this show. Like, we wanted to bring awareness to the fact that, you know, daily life goes on in politics that affects you, and you need to be made aware of it, period.
Our votes, it matters, but it don't really have an impact on, on the voting election.
Electoral college.
It depends on what state you live in.
Yeah.
It depends on what state you live in.
Yeah, college is big.
Is the vote that really counts.
Because really,
So then-
Ohio matters. Florida. Yeah, Florida, Ohio.
Trump was able to get a lot of
George Bush too.
through electoral vote.
Okay,
Yeah,
so here's
yeah.
another
Who
thing.
controls those votes?
Okay, so here's
A
another
select group
thing
of people
about
that's not even
electoral
elected.
votes
Yeah.
and the regular vote. During impeachment, you are more powerful during impeachment than you are during the election, because the people say whether or not they want their people to get impeached or not. Like, he was not a strong candidate. The only other two presidents that ever got impeached were Nixon and Clinton.
Yeah.
But they all won the popular vote by landslide, 80%, 60%. So when it was time for them to get impeached, the people really liked them. They all voted for them for real. You know what I mean? They were very, very popular presidents.
Yeah.
So it didn't go through. This president is going through an impeachment as an unpopular president.
I'm gonna be real with you, Kim. He was probably unpopular going in, but he's popular now.
No, his popularity is actually
I don't
going
believe
down.
that. I don't
according
believe
to
that.
the polls.
I don't believe that.
According
Almost,
to the
Kim,
polls.
almost every white person I see is a Trump supporter.
But that's. But
I'm
just
telling you.
According to
Behind closed doors. And Kim.
Hey, my grandma was just telling me, she was over my dad's house. They was having.
But
like,
your people
hold
are from
on, listen,
Ohio, right?
Listen to me.
But everything in context. they're
Hey,
from
but
Ohio.
he might have a gym.
But look, they was so they was having like a little family reunion. They was getting a family reunion together.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad neighbor came out. My granny said she was looking at her. She came out. She seen us all. She said she went back in the house and put on her Trump hat and her Trump shirt.
I'm
and
telling
all
you,
that,
man.
like, in Ohio.
I'm telling you.
But that's
And-
a heavy Ohio
But-
state. Florida is
but-
a heavy Ohio. Is a heavy Trump state.
Bruh, Trump is but I don't get why we cannot accept that America is racist and Trump is the man. He is Teflon Don. Like, we just gotta accept, and that's why I say again.
So everybody's like, "Fuck it, he's just gonna."
No,
win
no,
again.
no,
That
Kim.
to me sounds
Kim,
so
no,
weak.
no,
I hate
no,
when people
no,
say
Kim.
that. Like,
Back to the original question.
Yeah.
If Trump gets reelected, what do we do?
why do we even ask? Make
You gotta
that a
prepare for
option?
it. You gotta prepare for
That's an
that.
option. Just like
That's a real option.
Like,
Okay, so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There you go. So what do we do if he gets reelected? Because I feel like this time all we've done for 4 years is cry. So if Trump gets reelected, what are solutions?
I don't think that
we
all
can-
we've done is cry. Look at, we are in the fucking middle of
We
impeachment.
cry about Trump every day.
We in the middle of impeachment right now.
It's not gonna do nothing.
Why don't you have any
He's
faith
been
in
about to
it?
get impeached since the first year.
No, they haven't been about to be impeached since the first year. They've wanted him impeached
Kim.
since the first year. But actually, you know how much you had to go through to get to where we are
That's
right
the
now?
point, and it's gonna take even more for him to actually
they
get
let him do a whole
impeached.
term before they impeach him.
First of all, it takes
That's what I'm saying.
It takes a long time.
We gotta do something
to
else.
Go through impeachment, and that's why so many people were against it. They weren't
But-
against it because they thought that he wasn't shit. They knew he wasn't shit. They were against it because of the time it takes to go through.
Trump is their
impeachment.
leader, man.
You have to get to the point where you have they have so much evidence against this dude right now. So much evidence against this dude right now. Besides the phone call, do you remember the letter he wrote?
He's still here though.
The thing about the Republicans is they stick together.
But they
If you
got
say
all that,
Republican, they don't give a fuck if Satan himself is running for Republican. We don't stick together.
I hear you.
We don't stick together.
I
We
hear
see
you.
the strength in their numbers,
I
and we're
hear you.
intimidated. Like, oh my God, he could win because
I don't
they
say
all
that.
have on
But
their
is
Trump
this-
hats.
is
I don't say that we're
Fuck
intimidated.
them.
This hearing, is this
We
in the
need to
Supreme
get
Court
together
right
like
now?
that.
They in
Huh?
the Supreme Court right now. That's what the hearing is at the Supreme Court. Like they,
The Congress.
but is it
Okay,
going through
so
the courts
here's the
right now?
thing. He could get impeached in Congress and not in the Senate. And the Senate is majority Republican.
It's a process though, right?
But there are Republicans that are changing their mind every time more shit comes out, because you got to think about it. In the 2020 election, on a straight Republican ticket, there are some people that have to go up for re-election with him. So some of them are like, oh, damn, should I stay with this dude? Because if everybody turns on him, that's why the popular opinion counts during
a lot of people. Trump is popular.
Hearings.
We got to be real. These white people out here are racist. They are Trump's following.
You're giving them too much power.
No,
What about your
Kim,
point?
I'm being factual. But look, here's what I'm saying.
So you think there's more of them
hold
than
on,
there are of us?
hold on, Kim. Here's what I'm saying. We got to be real to the point. If this man got elected the first time, what makes you think that his
Because he cheated.
But here's what I'm saying.
That's how he got elected the first time.
But again, here's what I'm saying. This man's following has grown even more, and I'm telling you from personal experience. I'm telling you from personal experience. Almost every white person that I've encountered supports Trump.
You live in Georgia.
But Kim, in Cali, there's white Republicans in Silicon Valley who vote for Trump.
But Cali is not a red state.
But again, we have to.
California is the only state that I could say that we really have.
Nah, because at the end of the day, we got to be real. We still.
So during the election, the states that weren't red states that Trump won,
they have the most electoral. They have the most electoral votes.
Because he flipped West Virginia.
That's what I'm saying, man.
He flipped a lot of them eastern states.
Trump got Texas on lock, don't he? That's my point.
Did he get New York?
And Florida and Georgia.
He got New York. Did he get New York?
New York, Alabama, Louisiana. And look, here's the problem. And I'm going to just be real. Our problem is we rely too much on politics. There's no power in that. We got to have power in our own communities. Chinese people.
Listen, we relying on, we just talked about the Constitution.
Yeah.
And we still trying to rely on politics.
When are we going to learn? Bro,
Like,
Chinese people do not worry about who's going to be president because they still going to have their money. Italian people do not worry about who's going to be president.
Okay.
Jewish people do not worry about that.
Okay.
We have to get to that level.
I'm just telling you what's going on. I'm not saying if it's
We got to
working,
stop this, though.
If it's good, if it's bad. The Constitution was not written for you in mind.
But we trying to vote somebody in that system to change it, to do something for us, to give us some reparations.
So we got to
follow
create.
their rules.
That's the problem.
We running to be president to follow your rules.
We should be self-sufficient.
Like, that's what
We got to be self-sufficient and stop worrying about big politics. We just got to worry about local politics and control your own cities and your own blocks. And it's that simple.
I agree.
Chinatown still exists. Little Italy still exists. We should not be worried about what Trump is doing. Because at the end of the day, we got to be taking care of what we got going on. Because if it's not Trump, it's still going to be another racist white person in office. Because if it wasn't Trump, Hillary, she would still be doing crazy stuff. There's no difference between Trump, Hillary, Cory Booker. You really think Cory Booker, he going to do something for black people if he get elected? No. They don't. Kamala Harris.
Okay,
but you got to think,
when
too,
you
and
think
then
about
America is just a corporation.
That's all. It's a
president,
business,
like
man.
But when you think about when you think about
it's
who
that simple.
When
CEO.
you think about as a leader of a corporation or as a politician, you're gonna do. This is what I think. When you get to that point as a politician, you're gonna work for who screams the loudest because there's so many
who pays
people
the most.
Who pays the
It's
most?
It's
lobbyism.
Who pays the most?
Who pays the most?
Not who screams the most.
It ain't
Because black
us.
people been screaming the loudest forever. They don't care. Because at the end of the day, I got to pull out some fried chicken, do the nay-nay, and you going to vote for me.
Yeah.
Y'all easy. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Well, we got to get our priorities straight.
We got to.
And if you
And
want
we
to
got to stop being
in the-
easy.
If you want to start in the community.
Hold your money, hold your dollar, and start spending with those corporations.
You're
It's not even
110%
just- it's
right.
not- everybody says that, but that's true. But also
right.
remember that currency is also time. Currency is also attention. Currency is also what you're watching on television.
Yeah.
Currency is who you're following on social media.
That's real.
Currency is not just always money. Your representation shows.
You see that now with streams.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was just talking about that.
You know, adds up to
Attention.
currency now.
You right.
So we're gonna wrap it up and
Great
make
points.
sure you guys.
You got the NCAA talk.
Oh yeah, we got that. So the NCAA said that they're going to start paying. They're going to allow the students to be paid for the usage of their likeness and their image. I'm sure the NCAA is going to get a piece of that somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I think that that's going to open up a lot of doors for what, agents? Is that going to, or like your parents your agent? How would that even work? I don't even know.
It's going to be a loophole. We already know. It's
Well,
gonna be a
what
loophole.
happened was the states were trying to do it. Like
Yeah.
New York did
Yep.
it, California
Yep.
did it, and then all of a
The
sudden,
NCAA tried to say, hold on.
we don't want the
It was just
government
coming
involved.
along,
We'll
yeah.
just do it ourselves. We'll do it ourselves. We don't want the government involved. We don't want
About to
everybody
get
going to
crazy.
school in California and everybody else going to school in New York. We got this. So maybe this will give people the opportunity to, or help throw in HBCUs in the mix. If you're going to be
Byron
able
Allen,
to
he
get
spoke
paid,
about that too, trying to
if
get
you're
them
going to be able
involved.
to get paid by
Yeah.
your image and your likeness, it really won't matter what school you go to, right?
Uh,
I mean, I guess the
You
facilities.
make more money
and,
at a bigger school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And two, college coaches are actually being pressured and nervous about this. Dabo Swinney, Clemson's head coach, he makes $7 million a year. He's talking about the players don't need money. He thinks it's bad for the game, but he's doing commercials. So I think that if that happens, that changes everything. And then players, they won't feel forced to go to a Clemson, like what you said. If they go to an HBCU and they can still get paid that same amount, then why do I need to go to an all-white school?
This
So
can
it
really hurt
change.
the NFL too, because a lot of football players, like old football players, they talk about it now how their bodies all fucked.
Oh,
up.
so if they already start
But shit,
making
they
money,
get their money in college,
And they only play a few years.
You ain't gotta go to the league. You feel me?
or you retire
That's
after
what college
3
is
years.
about. You take classes
Yeah.
on that.
You retire early.
Economic class and business management
Yep,
classes.
that's a great
I'm getting
point.
These checks and now I know how to manage this. Oh fuck that! I'm going to the NFL because I'm trying to get paid.
And I'm gonna get
I
this
like to play
rookie deal.
football, you feel me? But
Yep.
if I can get paid before that,
Yep.
yeah, if I
People
get
like
paid before I
Brian.
go to the league. Fuck
So
the
does that
league.
mean Reggie Bush would get his Heisman? Because
You brought up a good point.
Should.
They don't care, man. But Jay Black, you brought up a great point because even when I look at players like Patrick Willis, Calvin Johnson, they retired after 7 years. Barry Sanders, they got what they needed out of the game. Calvin signed at the time the biggest contract. He signed like 150 mil, 50 guaranteed. He got his money and bounced, and he played 7 years. Patrick Willis played 7 years. Barry Sanders, short amount of time, body's not as banged up, in and out, and it's quick. And I feel like if the kids, if they get paid from when the time you're a freshman to a senior, you probably play out your rookie deal, and that's pretty much it. And you out.
Accumulate up to like 300,000 in college. If
Before you even
a
graduate.
5-star athlete, you probably can get a $500,000
Before you even
Scholarship
graduate.
over them 4 years or 2 or 3 years.
But look
you
how
gonna
much
That's
make-
right.
the NFL is paying.
Huh?
But look how much the NFL is paying.
But I'm saying, if you in school and you getting that money, and
Already
you
got
invested
it.
right?
Yeah.
You taking class, you already in school, so
You already know how to
classes
take
on
care of your
manage
money.
Your money.
Yep.
When you get out of school, that 500,000 gonna be flipped to
It's an
whatever it
advance.
is forever. Like, and I don't have to work my body.
Yep.
I just gotta work my mind. I might have to work a few buttons. Like,
That's generational
that's
wealth.
smart.
yeah, but the NFL,
I'm playing
The
football
NFL
because I like to play. At that point,
You playing for fun.
but there's
Not
no,
'cause
but
you need
there's
to.
so much given into the NFL players,
Yeah.
like their royalty.
What you do like the Bosa brothers, like they decided they were just gonna hold out until they got a contract that benefited them.
As rookies. That's a great point, man.
Parents had money.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they didn't even need it.
See, that's the deal with this, you empower these young black boys to be able to
You right.
instead of just taking whatever deal at the time,
Yes, sir. You right.
be able to make a better decision instead of just signing everything.
And you know, speaking on that, Clem Portis, he just had one of his interviews drop on that, and he said that he signed a terrible rookie deal. Clem Portis was the man out of Miami. He only signed for like 1.3 million. He said his agent took $400K out of that before he even signed, and told him, "Who do you think paid for all the limos for draft night? Paid for all the dinners, all that." So that $500K that Jay Black was talking about, he already got it. So he ain't got to pay you for the limos and things like that because he's already good. It's a system. Clem Portis said he was already down to $300,000 the day he signed a $1.5 million contract.
Now you have to play through pain. Through all
He said that. He said that.
the next contract.
And the next contract was 4 years later.
He gonna owe money from this.
You got bills like
That's what he said.
Agents, basically.
Yep. It's the agents. And, you know, he was saying he got to pay for the crib, his cars, his kids, his mom, his uncle. So-and-so needs some money. And before you know it, he was like, I'm broke.
You're a slave.
That's simple.
I was just about to say that. That sounds familiar to me, but nobody's saying anything.
Nah.
God forbid we say
Hey,
boycott the
football
NFL.
is another form of slavery. Of course it is.
working is a form of slavery.
Working is too.
having
Working a
job
9 to
is
5.
a form of slavery.
Not
Like,
if
it's
not if your life and your physical ability is not on the line. It's not the same. It's
People
not the
people get
same.
stressed from working a 9 to 5.
different thing is
People
slavery,
get stressed from
That
working
is
a 9
not
to
the same, really.
Your
It's
mental
not.
health- your mental health is on the line.
my father got diabetes and health problems from working for 25 years in the federal government because of the stress levels.
Wow.
That affects your health. High pressure jobs that pay great. He got paid more than 6 figures. He is good. He's retired. He don't pay for nothing. But he will tell you that he would take his happiness and his health over working a high pressure job any day.
Maybe because my job's not stressful.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Some people work at warehouses, back getting messed
That's
up.
a fucked up job.
But you got to do what you got to do. That's another form of slavery. You're doing something that you don't want to do, and somebody else is making money off of it. It is what it is.
Well, guys, we will start our discussion over again next week.
Yes, we
Make
even
sure
better.
you subscribe to ctdatl.com.
Yep.
And follow us on Instagram, cdd_ATL. And we do have a Facebook page, Connecting the Dots.
Yeah.
Who was the then you have a new innovator of the week?
It's coming out on Monday. I got somebody. We actually got two
We had
people.
a barber last week, though.
Yeah. He was dope, and he actually posted it. Shout out to him. His story got posted. We'll have somebody
What's
up
his name
this
again?
week. It escapes me at the moment. Hey, Kim, can you pull it up on our Instagram so I can show him the proper respect?
Yeah, we do.
Out of Harlem, too. So, I mean, the fact that we're reaching people all throughout.
Writers, we got any more writers?
Yeah. My guy Kendall, he just wrote something about homelessness in Atlanta. I just posted that. So anybody that's interested in writing, The Barber. I just want to say his name right. So if it's not on that, I can pull it up on mine. Let's see.
We also need a song, so if anybody is interested in contributing an intro song for us, we're trying to get an intro song together.
That would be super dope.
I mean, they won't let me sing because, I can spit and I can sing.
You can follow him at The Barber Guy on social media. And then we got his full name on ctdatl.com, his government name.
There.
The Barber Guy.
The Barber Guy. You can follow him on social media at The Barber Guy. He actually started his mobile barbering business because of gentrification in Harlem. His rent got too expensive. Bought a party bus or a truck, made it a whole barbershop on the inside.
Yeah,
he pulls up to his clients, and they ain't even got to leave the house. Come inside, sit down.
He has a GoFundMe to expand it.
Yep. And he actually said that he's trying to hire somebody else. He wants to start like a whole franchise of it. So that could be like.
He's still up in Harlem?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's pretty much like Uber/barbering at the same time, which is crazy. So that's a genius idea.
Linwood Dillard.
That was his name. Linwood Dillard. Yep.
Oh.
Solid dude. He posted it on his page. He told us thank you. Real solid guy. So shout out to him.
Yep. So we value your contribution to our show. Make sure you tell us what you think.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next week.
Yes.